Coming up, with the departure of the tourists, Benidorm buckles up for a rough ride ahead. And we'll be finding out once and for all what's happening about Benidorm Fiestas.
Hi everyone, Michelle Baker here, reporting from a much cooler Benidorm than we've seen in the last 4 months. Now, I've created these videos to keep you in touch with what's really happening here in Benidorm, and right now the resort's getting pretty desperate.
As the mostly Spanish tourists headed home at the end of August, the reality of the situation is hitting us hard. Traditionally, September is a great month for Benidorm as the kids go back to school and the resort fills up with a different clientele seeking a late summer break with money to spend. But this year, with the quarantine rules still firmly in place and no tourists on the horizon, many of the hotels that had only just reopened have now decided to close again, like the Hotel Pelicanos, the Riador, the Marina and the Don Pancho. The good news is there's definitely enough staying open for you to book a holiday, and we'll tell you exactly which hotels these are in a moment. And remember, around the hotels that are open, there's bars open and plenty of fun. So if you've a holiday booked soon, rest assured you're going to have a great time. The sun is still shining and the beach is blissfully quiet. This week we again went to the viewing platform at the top of the tourist information building right at the end of the Levante beach. The view from here is spectacular and I learnt something about the beach that I never knew before. Back in January there was a really bad storm and this led to the beach being washed away, allowing the water right up to the sea wall. Now this is nothing new, it always happens in really bad weather, but I just assumed that once the storm has passed the beach reappears, but that's not the case. It takes time for the sea to bring the sand back on land, and bit by bit that sand acts as a barrier, gradually making the beach wider. See the difference since June? You'll notice as the summer has progressed the beach has got wider. And remember, this year, in our attempt to keep everyone safe, no one's allowed to hog the shoreline in the traditional way. Sunbeds and towels must be at least 6 metres back so people can enjoy a stroll along the shore without getting too close. So if the sight of our gorgeous Benidorm beaches has encouraged you to take your chances on a late summer escape, rest assured you'll have a great time. There are around a dozen hotels that have announced they're staying open. The Helios, the Melia, the Regente, the Port, the Symbol, and over in the Old Town you can stay at the Bristol, the Port Poniente and the Queen's. Plus there's hundreds of self-catering and apartments. The Spanish news this week is all about the kids going back to school, and in this area that starts from next Monday. After 6 months of homeschooling, there's mixed opinions from the parents about going back into the classroom, and each school has different rules. But they've all got one thing in common: children aged 6 and over are required to wear a mask at school at all times. But other than that, there are still a million unanswered questions and a lot of speculation and what-if scenarios. At home, in preparation, we've got back into the routine of doing a bit of homeschooling each day. Generally speaking, Spanish school in this Valencian region is tricky because half of the lessons are taught in the local Valencian dialect to protect the local heritage. So it's a bit like us learning geography in Welsh, for example, without being native Welsh speakers. No offence to Wales, of course. And this is something many expats aren't prepared for when they move to Spain and enrol their children in Spanish school, and it makes the many private international schools where they teach in English a popular alternative. And there does seem to be a surge in people wanting to move here recently, perhaps because Brexit is looming, or perhaps because they've learnt to work from home throughout the pandemic so can now live anywhere they choose. And if that's your case, having lived here for 37 years, I always offer the same advice to everyone. Do speak to others who have made the move, but when it comes to the important stuff, don't rely on hearsay and bar chat. Talk to the professionals as recommended by someone who has lived here and recommends them. If you've only ever holidayed here, try and rent before you buy. What seems like an easy commute when you go house hunting can turn to a house in the sticks when you've lived here for 6 months. And obviously, the nearer the coast you are, the more expensive the property. If you plan on renting a 2-bedroomed apartment in swanky Albia, for example, that will set you back around €700 per month. But if you drive just 10 minutes inland to Lanuthia, you could rent a townhouse for the same price. But with Brexit looming, you will need to apply for a Spanish residency, and you've still got time to do this if you apply straight away. So if you're planning on moving here, get in touch and we'll point you in the right direction. With the summer over, we know in the UK you're already thinking about Christmas, but here after summer our thoughts immediately turn to the fiestas, which take place over the second weekend in November, not just in Benidorm but also in the neighbouring town of Alfaz del Pi. A hugely popular tourist attraction, the Benidorm Fiestas attract many thousands seeking a few days fun in the sun, and so the question on everyone's lips is, what's happening this year? But the answer is quite simply and sadly, not very much, and here's why. The Benidorm Fiestas are organised by a fiesta committee, and this year they announced some weeks ago that they would not be organising any of the traditional events to avoid overcrowding in keeping with the COVID safety measures. So no flower offerings, no parades, no religious processions, no fireworks. Benidorm will respect the official fiesta days as public holidays, but the famous fancy dress after party that takes place at the end of the official fiestas will be discouraged to prevent crowds, and the famous giant paella that is organised and paid for by Hoteles Benidorm won't take place for exactly the same reason. However, rest assured, if you plan on coming for the Fiesta Week, we are sure you'll have a fantastic time because there will be plenty of places open and eager to serve you. Just be prepared for it to be a different fiesta than previous years because right now the world is different, but Benidorm still needs your support. Next time, now the temperatures have cooled, we'll be enjoying some of the fun activities that Benidorm has to offer, and we'll be checking out the local gastronomy.
So there you have it, folks. Not the best news, but we've promised you the truth and that's what we deliver. Even so, we hope you enjoyed this week's video and can help us. If you're watching these videos through Facebook, please subscribe to our channel Benidormforever on YouTube. And of course, share our videos with anyone you know who likes Benidorm. With school starting, we won't be able to make a video every week, but we'll do as many as we can to keep you in touch. Stay safe and thanks for watching.